Hi everyone, and thanks for watching. Today I'm going to go ahead and install this Zona bed topper. I was looking at the Tesla crossbars and realized that they were going to cost, $800 a pair. And obviously they wouldn't give you that level service on top. So when you start looking at these toppers, they're running anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500 out there. So after some research, I found this brand on Amazon for around five and thought, well, I'll give it a try. Let's see how good or bad it is. Pleasantly surprised so far, just as a spoiler there. Comes pretty well packed. These boxes are very heavy. The long box is probably running about 84, 85 pounds. That shorter box is running about 70 something pounds. So this whole system is quite heavy. The instructions said to actually build it first and then put it on top, but that wasn't going to be feasible for me to do alone. So I decided to go ahead and build it in place on top of the Cybertruck. They give you obviously all of the hardware you need, which a lot of bolts, a lot of nuts, a lot of washers, by the way, and you need to make sure you kind of follow the directions on how they're put together. Here are those directions. It's pretty much step one and step two, which in reality, of course, there's hundreds of steps, but they kept it simple. So we'll go ahead and go through this, and I'll kind of point out how I did it and the best way to get this thing installed quickly and easily. Right off the bat, the first thing you really want to do is lay all the parts out. That way you can get a feel for, which bar is which when you're going through the installation. I found sort of the cheat code here, which the hardware is actually stamped. So you see that M1. You then use the instructions, and there's basically an answer key. So on the back, let's say I want A10, the crossbar there, that first one. And I look on the other side, I see A10-M1, and sure enough, that is the part. So there's a little, trick to finding each one of these pieces as you go through to make sure you have the right one, but it's pretty straightforward. Next, you want the right tools. So this is a 6mm hex. I've got two versions, one in a socket low profile, the other one obviously for my drill driver. I've got a 10mm, so this is for the OEM nuts that we'll take off. I'll show you in a minute. And then I've got another Allen wrench just to kind of tighten things down. And then I've got a 14mm with a ratchet. This is going to be used to hold the nut in place as I use the driver to drive the screw in. I guess the bolt, excuse me. So having these make the job so much faster and easier, especially because there's some tight quarters you'll see as we're going through. So what I'm going to do is kind of lay everything out, and I'll show you close-ups on how to use the tools and what you do with the washers and the lock washers and so forth. So with that again, the first thing we got to do is grab these brackets. These are going to go into on top of your applique and on the sides of your vaults, right? There are the mounting points basically for the crossbars. That's going to be the connector you use. So first thing you have to do is remove these little doors. The directions say to use a screwdriver with tape. I found that really doesn't work that well. It's a lot easier just to kind of use your thumb and apply a little pressure to deform that little door, to bend it a bit, and then it'll come right out. I did not crack or break any of them, surprisingly. So I would say, a little brute force here is your friend instead of using a tool. And then it basically shows you those two mounted points behind that compartment. So those two nuts, that's where you're going to use the 10mm socket wrench to go ahead and pull those off. And they're pretty tight, honestly, but that's probably good because, this is something that in theory you want to make sure does not fly off your truck at high speeds. So it's good that these mounting points are quite stiff and strong. You will save these nuts, is what the directions said. They do not include any additional ones. What I found were these were actually M5s, and you'll see why in just a moment. So as you go around, right, you're going to basically repeat this step all 8 times for all 8 of those points that you do the installation. The other thing I realized kind of going through this, it's a good idea to get a moving blanket or something just to protect your glass roof there. So you'll see later in the video I did find one and throw it up there just so I had a place to set tools and not worry about scratching or cracking that glass. Once you get those nuts out, obviously you're going to put the actual connector into place, and you'll see there's quite a bit of space there. It can move around quite a lot. So I went ahead and chose to mount it as close to kind of in the center as I could, thinking, yeah, there's probably a reason it has that give as you're going through and installing. And sure enough, when I got to basically about the third rib down, I had to go ahead and loosen these, push them around, and ended up on the last two kind of pushing that all the way toward the tailgate end of the truck to make sure that I could get everything to fit square and proper. So, once you've got tightened down, you'd probably want to back it off just a little bit so you have a little bit of room there. And then that way you can kind of dry fit those first bars and make sure it lines up. So at the front, there is kind of a wind deflector piece that's going to connect onto these first two spines. So I would go ahead and, as I mentioned, kind of dry fit everything, kind of adjust it as you see fit, and then tighten it down. Now, these are the connectors down by the bed, and you'll notice there are no nuts. So Tesla was apparently saving a few bucks there by not including the nuts by the bed in the default standard all-wheel drive. They apparently installed them when I did get the applique, which was nice. So I found washers as a replacement along the bed. I've got some better ones on order that are coming in. Now, once you've done that, the next piece, as I mentioned, was to go ahead and do the dry fit. So you can see G83 there. That's the wind deflector in effect that goes over the front of the windshield. It's going to float and not touch the glass ideally. You obviously don't want it rocking into the glass while you're driving. Next, I went ahead and got everything together, did a dry fit, adjusted, right? It's pretty much an install, uninstall, reinstall, tighten down until you really get it to where you want on both sides and looking level and straight across that front roof section. Once you've got that in place, I'm going to go ahead and give you some more detail on how these connectors actually work from a better angle. It's a little dark there, as you can see. So here on the back right, I went ahead and got a better shot with the sun giving me some help. And basically, I'm using that low profile ratchet there with the hex to go ahead and tighten and loosen these. As you can see, it's a very tight fit because of the angles and because of the way that this was designed, right? You have a very minimal freedom of movement there. So make sure you get a low profile ratchet. Is going to save you a ton of time and energy. And then once I got it pretty much all the way down, I came back in with the regular Allen wrench and gave it a little bit of a hard torque just to tighten it down fully. And this just, I felt like, gave me a little better control than the ratchet. So next, let me show you how you're going to do the actual nuts and bolts that are basically repeated a couple hundred times throughout the installation for putting all these panels together, all the connection points, and so forth. And again, the key tools here, I think, are the driver and having the ratchet again. So next, let me kind of show you what you're doing with the bolts and nuts and the washers. So right there, you've got the nut, a lockdown washer there, and then the kind of flat washer. And you'll put them obviously in that order. So when it tightens down, the lock washer is going to apply a little pressure there, keep everything together. And kind of the trick here is some dexterity with your fingers to be able to hold these three together as you thread the bolt from the other side. So I found that was the easiest thing to do was, go ahead, put the bolt with a flat washer, push it through, kind of thread these all together, and then hand tighten down. Saves you a lot of time and energy later. Plus it holds these into place. I also found as you were doing this, it helped to kind of put them all in per section so you can kind of move things around and adjust if you need to from an angle perspective. So if you keep everything loose until you basically get that whole section, and then you come back and do this tightening where you're basically using, the socket there on the inside, you're using your driver on the outside with that hex bit to go ahead and tighten everything down. And what I did was I adjusted my clutch on my driver so that it wasn't over tightening. I didn't want to strip any of these as I went through, and surprisingly I didn't strip any. So these are actually pretty good bolts and nuts. Here from the outside view, so again, I've got my bolt there and my flat washer, put them together, pop them through, reach around the other side where I have the nut washer and lock washer all together in the right order, and then I just go ahead and do a quick tighten, hand tight. And once it's kind of in place, then I go find my socket wrench, right? And I find my driver, and I tighten everything completely down. Now, if we zoom out here a little, you'll see there are a lot of these that you're going to be installing. So all told, not counting the rain delays, I'm probably a couple hours easily for this installation. I want to say there's like 190 something of these that you're going to be connecting everywhere. And you're kind of just using your own judgment. The instructions aren't very clear as to where the connection points are. So obviously I was focusing where these came together or connected onto these pillars. As you can see, it's just go by section, make adjustments as you go. And then once complete, this is what it looks like. I'm going to be using this for camping. So I'm going to set up a rig in the bed, put a tarp over this, and kind of use this almost like a shell with the tonneau open, so and the bed down, so I can get an 8-foot plus living space. Also, you could use this, of course, for a rooftop tent, for carrying ladders, kayaks, and that sort of thing. Here's my one complaint. This part of the metal here does block the buttons. So I'm either going to go in and cut or bend that metal up, or go ahead and install some sort of workaround is my plan. Well, thanks for watching as always. Please subscribe and like. And any comments about what you'd like to see are always appreciated. Thank you.